Welcome back, guys. And as promised, Shah Pirali is with us. He's the founder, president, managing attorney of Shah Pirali Law Group, and they are located in Newark, California, and is a member of American Immigration Lawyers Association as well as the State Bar of California. He is a passionate advocate of human rights, civil rights, social action, and social services, and he has a strong interest and absolutely knowledge of the political and legal system in the U.S. He formed his law group to work on the causes he feels most ardent about. So the law group mainly focuses on immigration laws with an emphasis on the employment-based immigration and helps the clients all over the U.S. If you would like to connect with their team, call 510-742-5887. That's the direct number, 510-742-5887. And they are located in Newark, California. The website to connect with them is pirallylaw.com, which is PRRALLY law.com. So with that, let me take Shah on air and let's start today's show. And before that, I would like to remind our listeners that this is a call-in show. If you have any quick question, you can definitely call on the studio line. The studio number is 510-770-1550. We'll be opening the line shortly. Once again, the studio line number is 510-770-1550. And the number to call Shah Pirali's office is 510-742-5887. Hey Shah, good morning.
Good morning, Vedika. Good morning to all the listeners. I hope you had a great Memorial Day. And I hope all the listeners are ready now for the show. Of course, we're going to talk about immigration. And before I start, I wanted to say anything I'm telling you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. And I hope you can hear me properly, Vedika, right?
Yes,
mic
absolutely.
Low.
No. The mic is perfect. I can hear you well.
Perfect. So we're going to talk about immigration, and feel free to call on any points of immigration. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer if I can, of course. And if you want to do a private consultation, 510-742-5887. So today we are going to talk about, before I get into the topic, I wanted to talk about I-140s because I get a lot of questions about them. And before I get into that, I wanted to give some announcements. For one, there is a lawsuit that was filed for Afghan refugees. As you know, the government has mentioned that the refugees from Afghanistan could get what we call a humanitarian parole, but as you know, all those people who are filed are still waiting, and their cases are at the back burner, and they are not getting any answers, and people are getting frustrated. So there's a lawsuit going on. Hopefully that lawsuit would unclog the whole system. And I would like to tell people, if you need any help on that side, give us a call, 510-742-5887. The other thing that we are seeing also is there's a petition online. I didn't really see the petition, but I heard about it, that the stamping for H-1B visas, they are trying to get the stamping done inside the U.S. And as you know, to get the stamping on a passport, you have to go to the U.S. consulate. It used to be back in the days, like almost maybe 20 years ago, where you could do that in Washington, but then they remove it. I think so, because I'm not so sure. I was not an attorney yet at that time, so I don't have the exact details, but they are trying to revive that. Hopefully it works, because a lot of people going outside for stamping, as you know, get stuck, and they cannot come back, and they end up losing their jobs, etc. And also another thing that is, it is hitting us now hard. We are getting into a recession, almost a, let's see, well, that's what everybody's expecting happening. And jobs also are getting really, are going to get hit by it. So it's going to also hit the high-tech jobs. Mm-hmm. So be ready to be careful if you're changing jobs, or if your company not doing well, etc. It will affect you, so be ready for that. Now, Vedika, any question on your side, or we can just jump into the I-140 petitions that I wanted to talk about? And of course, all the listeners, you're free to call on any topic on immigration. I will be glad to answer you if you ask a question. Yes, Vedika, anything else?
No, nothing from me for now. But yeah, I would like to remind the listeners that if you have a question, then you can call us 510-770-1550. That's our studio line number. So you can call us and you can ask your question on air. Shapirali is right here with me, and any question which comes to your mind and you think that it'll be worth discussing on air, definitely call us 510-770-1550. Yasha, go ahead.
Indeed, Vedika. So as you know, everybody, especially if you're born in India, there is a demand, not a demand, but when you're on H-1B, you want to ultimately get your green card. And the step to take is, of course, most people, is the first step is the labor certification. And ultimately, after the labor certification, then you have the I-140 petition. And the I-140 gets tricky because you need that I-140 in order to extend your H-1B beyond 6 years, or if you have a pending labor certification of 365 days. That's where a lot of people get misunderstand how it works, because the I-140 can come from any company, by the way. It can be from company A, and you can use it with company B, etc., etc. But once your dates become current, whenever you apply for an extension beyond 6 years, usually when you get an extension beyond 6 years, it's a 3-year extension, right? But when it comes to the I-140 and the I-140 is current, they will not give you probably an extension of 3 years. They will give you only 1 year. So I always mention that. I tell people this is the I-140 becomes your umbilical cord, like you are in your mother's womb. Without it, once you pass 6 years, you're kind of stuck. And that's one of the main reasons you have to have it, especially if you're born in India or China. For other countries, they don't really have this issue because their dates are current. Excuse me. And I-140 can be obtained through, like I said, the normal way is the labor certification. Then the next step is the I-140 petition, the petition for alien worker. And ultimately, once the dates become current, then you get your adjustment of status. But in the meantime, you can obtain it two different ways. You can obtain it to a national interest waiver, which is something, a self-petition. It's an EB2 category, but you still need it. When talking about EB categories, a lot of people, maybe they don't know that you have the EB1, the employment-based category. It's divided into 3 parts. There's the EB1A, which is a self-petition for extraordinary abilities. Then you have EB1B, which is for outstanding professors and researchers, and EB1C, which are for managers and executives. You cannot mix all the 3, by the way. A lot of people mix all of them because they think because they're managers, they get EB1A. It doesn't work exactly like that. But now, as for EB2, these are for people who have at least a bachelor's degree plus 5 years of experience or a master's degree. And for people on EB3, it's usually EB3 also is divided into 3 parts. There is EB3A, B, C. Mostly the one that is common is the bachelor's degrees plus 2 years experience. When I say bachelor's degree, it has to be a U.S. equivalent, which is a 4 years bachelor's degree, okay? Mm-hmm. A lot of people from India has this 3 years bachelor's degree, and they will not be accepted. Although in the past we were able to kind of show that a 3 years bachelor was equivalent to the 4 years, now they don't really accept it when it comes to immigration. So at the end of the day, you need to have the system work so that you can move forward. Then you have the EB3C, which basically are for people of anybody can qualify basically for it, kind of, as long as you meet the requirements, if you're doing the labor certification properly, etc. So I will highly recommend that you have to be careful which one you pick, because you need an I-140. That means you can have any I-140 from any of them, but you need the I-140. And it is very, very important that you get all those I-140s, any I-140, to get your extension on your H-1B. However, to get the green card itself, it has to be obtained from the company which basically petitioned for that I-140. So, for example, let's say you have an I-140 that was filed with company A and you already moved to company B, you have to make sure that you get your company who originally filed for your I-140 to actually get what we call your green card. So that's why you see a lot of people who moved to company B had to go back to company A to file for the adjustment of status when the dates become current. But that's not always possible because the company A might not want you back. So it is important, especially in the times now we are seeing, we are expecting some kind of recession because we had COVID, we have the war, we have so many other things happening. So if you're trying to make a movement from one company to another, just be very smart. You can talk to us or talk to another independent attorney to assess your case before you make the move to another company. So it is important definitely to have your I-140, but it is more important also to know how to use it because you might end up by seeing yourself in a situation where you don't get the green card because you keep jumping from one company to another. And just to let you know, like I mentioned before, you have to have the I-140 with that specific company to file your adjustment of status, which is the form I-485. So it is imperative to have it, and as soon as you move to another company, have them start your green card as soon as possible, because that will give you some kind of protection that you will need in the future, and that's something imperative and major that you should not ignore, because companies tend to wait the last minute to file it. And if you pass the deadline, you might have to go back to India, wait there, and then until the I-140 is approved, you get your extension, you won't be able to come back. So it is something very, very important. Any question, Vedika?
Not yet. So, but I would definitely like to remind our listeners that you are here with Shapirali, who is associated with Shapirali Law Group, and they are located in Newark. And if you have any question, you can definitely consult with them. 510-742-5887 is the number of their office. Once again, the number is 510-742-5887, or you can contact through the website, which is piralilaw.com. And if you have any quick question, we are here in the middle of the show, and Shah is with us for another 20 minutes or so. So definitely give us a call in the studio line, number 510-770-1550. 510-770-1550, that's the studio line number for a question right now. And if you want to discuss something in detail, the office number once again is 510-742-5887. Yes, Shah.
Yes, indeed, very good, sir. And now, going back to not going back, but continuing on the topic of the I-140, a lot of people get confused how it works in terms of when you change company. So when you change company, and you want to get a green card with that, you can use your I-140, of course, for your extension, even if it is from company A, you're working with B. You can also use it for H-4EAD for your spouse, but you cannot really use it to get a green card with company B. So in this case, if you want to get your green card, you have to have company B start from scratch, which means they have to file the labor certification. And after the labor certification, file in your I-140. The only thing they will be able to use in this is what we call the priority date. So, for example, let's say you get the priority date from company A for 2013, for example. You bring it to B, you still get that 2013, unless the I-140 has been revoked by the USCIS. I repeat that. It has to have been revoked by the USCIS for fraud or something. Then you cannot use a priority date. Otherwise, you still can use it, even if your company revoked your I-140 before the law of 180 days was passed. You can still use that priority date. So it is important when you move to company B to have them start your labor certification as soon as possible, because you might never know, the dates can get current any time. We talk about the visa bulletin like few weeks ago, and I said that according to my predictions, and again I might be wrong, don't hold me to that, I am basically talking about the possibilities that EB2 will go up to 2017, even 2018 by the end of this year. Looking at how things are moving, I'm hoping, and all the data we got from the USCIS, it seems that they are trying to clear a lot of those cases, especially from India. Now, there are major other issues that will come into play now. For example, we have the issues of the political climate, how the relationship between India and US unfolds. All those are going to be very, very important to people who are from India, because it will affect many of the things that is happening. For one, we're already seeing a lot of friction. As such, you're seeing also cases, people who are going to interviews in India are getting either delayed through 221Gs, administrative processing, or even denial. So all this are part of the political game, and we have to bear and work with it, work around it, so that people don't get stuck. And one of the advice right now, especially because there's a lot of delays on getting even an appointment, we are recommending not to go for stamping unless necessary. Now, on a good side, just to tell people as a footnote, H4 visas, which was taking a long time, are starting to take less time. We got few cases which were approved within 3-4 months. So that's one good news that we are seeing out there, and hopefully things will get better, and the H4 visa holders will get this, not stamping, but will get their extensions faster than like few months before, because lately it was taking almost 1 year to get an approval. So now, hopefully, the time is reduced. Another thing that is coming up also, we are hoping on the subject of I-140s. They are implementing what we call the premium processing for some I-140s. For example, National Interest Waiver didn't have a premium processing. Hopefully, they will implement that. And they're also talking about H4 premium. Let's see how this unfolds. This is, of course, a way to make money. Let's see how they're going to deal with that. Mm-hmm. But having said that, I will highly recommend that you get a lawyer who's experienced on immigration, because I'm seeing so many mistakes and so many wrong advices that sometimes it just bothers me to know that a colleague or someone, I don't know, but another lawyer giving advices that are actually not really helpful. And these are not even complicated cases. I will understand if it is a complicated case or it is a matter of opinion, but these are not, certain things are just straightforward law. And without the knowledge, a lot of people are going into a trap, and sometimes you might end up committing fraud without even knowing, or even a misrepresentation. And that's a no-no, and that can actually cost you a lot in the future. So be careful who you're asking, and we can give you a consultation. You give us a call, 510-742-5887. We can give you a second opinion. So please take advantage of that. Call us. And, of course, right now we have another few minutes, right? How many minutes we got?
Yes, we have 4 more minutes.
So we'll go ahead and we can take the calls, a few callers. But I know a lot of people that call me now, they say, we didn't call on the show, so we wanted to do a consultation. So that's fine with me. But at the same time, yes, of course, on the show I cannot give you long answers because I have to go fast. They're not, as you see, we just started and we're almost finished. So it is important that you get the right opinion. So this is the I-140 topic that we wanted. So what I'm going to do in the shows now, I will take a topic and then discuss about it extensively. Well, not extensively, but as much as I can. And, of course, you can ask questions on other things like family petitions. You can ask about asylum. You can ask about, you name it, in immigration where I can answer you. I'll be glad to answer. But we will focus on a topic every week now because that gives us basically the trend, and we can really kind of talk about cases so that people understand that certain things, especially frequently asked questions I get, on certain topics, I can cover them, and hopefully you don't have to ask the question. I'm already answering it in those shows. So, and another thing is that I put those shows on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ShahPuraliLaw, and you can have all those shows. You can review them, and we have a lot of good content there. You will see we have a lot of subscribers, and please subscribe to it and pass it to your friends, share it, and that will be very helpful. And I will be more than glad to be helping you if you need help. So, Erika, I don't know how much time we got left. Can you give me the time, because I'm not checking?
Yeah, 2 more minutes.
Okay, 2 more minutes. So we're going to wrap up a little bit because we don't have much time left now. We were talking about the I-140 petition, how important it is for your H-1B. Just another note, if you're on an L1 visa, an I-140 will not allow you to extend it beyond the 5 years or the 7 years. I repeat that. This rule is under AC-21, which allows you to extend your H-1B beyond 6 years based on an approved I-140. Now, if an I-140 is attached to an adjustment of status, the Form I-485, then after 6 months, 180 days, and I think AC-21 Section 104C, if I'm not mistaken, or 106C, one of the two, you are allowed to move the case from company A, the entire case. That means you don't have to start over. The entire case can move from company A to company B, provided you meet 2 requirements. Number 1, 180 days has passed, and number 2, you move to a same or similar position. Okay, same or similar position. A lot of people ask me, what is that? Well, that's a work in itself to really kind of measure which is a same or similar position. Then you can actually move the entire case. That means the entire green card passes from company A to company B. You cannot do that if you have only I-140s. I repeat that. In order to do that AC-21 movement, you have to have both the adjustment of status and the I-140 filed. Then you can move. Even if the I-140 is not yet approved, as long as it's pending and the adjustment of status is filed, 180 days has passed, you are able to do that.
Right.
A lot of people ask me the question, how do you calculate the 180 days? You calculate it on the last thing filed. So if you file the I-485 last, you calculate the 180 days from there. So bottom line, right now we know a lot of people are getting good offers. At the same time, we're going to see a slowdown coming. So be very careful before you move from one company to another. If you need help, give us a call, 510-742-5887. And also, for those great news that we are seeing, H4s are getting approved a little bit faster. So if you want to move to H4 or you need help with H4 EADs, feel free to reach 5887. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week. Anything I told you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. Thank you, Vedika. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Shah, and we'll see you back on next Tuesday. So, guys, don't forget to listen 9:30 a.m. next Tuesday, Shah Purali live on air. With that, this is RJ Vedika signing off. Cheers.